Hey guys, it's the Lady Hippie. As y'all can tell, I'm still doing production and set matters here. I've got I've got sound effects on, so I've been playing a little bit. There we go. Let's see. No, it's still my minions. I don't know. I'm trying to find this stuff out. That's the canned laughter of my childhood. I don't even know if it comes across here yet. So I've been playing. Hopefully, that's not what it's going to do the whole show. I don't know. Okay, there's my regular. No. Wow. It's taken a little while to get this off. This is a man's voice I'm doing. Oh, goody. Well, it's changing the voice. So in my headphones, I hear this. No. It's doing a lot of stuff, fellas. It's doing a lot of stuff. I don't know. We'll try cutting it off and on because maybe I shouldn't have played with this. So, yeah, let's see what it does now. Let's see. Hello, hello. That sounds like me. It's hard to tell between me and the minions, isn't it? Yeah, I really just started this so you guys could see my equipment that I'm playing with. Actually, I couldn't end it, but I'm like, no, I gotta get shit done. I've had my stiffener already. I looked at the pictures and I've been editing, trying to get caught up from when I was so ill last week. And I was like, it seemed to me that I was recycling the same clothes like every 8 days. I don't like that. No, because I have too many clothes in my closet that never gets to walk in daylight or actually at night either anymore. So this morning I had decided last night to wear a cute little sundress, and I like this thing. It's kind of cut high, but it's got the long kind of flared skirt, but not quite flared. But it's nice. It's mid cap, and I like those now that I'm old. Yeah, I think one should look as well as they could, and there's no reason for all my clothes to stay in the closet. They still bloom and fit. Yeah, okay. No, no mean. It's for entertainment purposes only, guys. Come see me. We're hippies at the bar, or we're 50s, however you want to put us. I think they called us baby boomers there for a long time. They might still. I don't keep up with common and current events that well. I try. I'm old now. I don't hear him as much. I don't go to many places. So today is, and Robert's going to help me. Bless his heart. He's got a lot to do, and we have to clean the whole house because it didn't get done. And so I'll get one room clean, and for some reason, three other rooms are then dirty. So this morning, we agreed that he was going to go out and do a couple of things because he'd already made arrangements for that. He's a mechanic. He's an ace mechanic. They call him a MacGyver for a reason. So he's out there doing a couple of things. They're going to grease his palm a little bit. It doesn't hurt to add the Social Security account that we have to give everybody else. I love getting my money finally. Yeah, so I can give it to somebody else. They get us. We're so screwed. They got tax on it every month. They got, you taxed on everything you buy. I'm like, they said England was the worst on taxes. They lied. Yeah. Yeah, really. I mean, they decided that somehow we spend over a half of our income per year on taxes. So look that up. That's fun. I don't do the numbers very well. So let's see what they all come up with. Pixie, I have at the end of the bar, there's a chandelier, and the bar is very high. I would say about 4.5 feet. So that and she can stand up like a prairie dog. And when she stands up, she's about 2.5 foot tall. She's a big cat. And when she's doing it on the bar, she can reach the chandelier. So she's batting it. I hate the chandelier, so I kind of let her do it. So I figure at that point, at some I can go ahead and change the chandelier. We changed the whole house as it was. Robert repainted everything, put hardwood floors in, got the carpet out. We still have the carpet in the bedrooms, and I really want it out. With the animals too, and we live in pine straw, so we have to watch constantly and be vigilant about fleas, which is another reason I have to clean every day. And I can't, like I said, just clean one room. I got to clean everything. So enough about me. Cry later. it's, entertainment, fellas. Come on. I need y'all up here. I need the hippies up here. I want to know why nobody's up here at Social Woodstock. For some reason, and we're echoing this morning, um, we can't seem to get together on that. I think most of us are at work still, and this is the prime time of day to work. Oh, there went my coffee too. Geez, I'm batting 100 here. So I'm sneaking a little bit because he had to go early. And since I didn't want to wear the same thing, I decided to buck up and do something to my appearance today. And then once I get on, I'm going to go change into something comfortable. I'm kidding. I'll work in this all day. One of my Facebook friends used to joke with me a lot. I haven't seen her lately. I've not been on Facebook much because of this. I try to get an edit in. I can't say I'm good at that all the time, but I try. So, I spend more time doing this and cleaning the house, and suddenly I try to again make myself get off at 5. So everybody knows enough about me. So at the same time, I'm trying to keep up with current events and what I could actually use on this show. And I keep waiting to hear from everybody. I don't know why I hadn't got any suggestions. Maybe people are just kind and don't want to say, get off the air, bitch. I'm not that kind, as you can tell. So I'm saying, bring it. Come on. Let's show the world the hippies are still here. We don't like war. We don't like anti Semitism. We don't like hate. They called us flower children for a reason. We were the generation that gave a shit. And then we got buried like every generation before us. It was time to work 2 jobs and go to school. No, we didn't sleep in the 80s. That was, no, he didn't do that. Did a lot of other stuff, but he didn't sleep. It's thin as hell. And I fidget when I get up here. So, yeah, bear with me. My necklaces never seem to go straight on. They go, it's like I have a magnet on one side of me. Just so, yeah, I still fuss. I mean, at this point, you can see me. You can see that part of the house that I haven't really gotten to. One of the rugs, the door we have to still paint, as you can tell. So you have to bear with us. We're old, and so I've been up here like a half a year, and I still haven't gotten an idea of what we should be doing, what people really want to see, what they want to know about. Um, so yeah, I'm like, come on, guys, I can't keep doing this by myself. Um, I mean, I could, but it seems kind of stupid. Don't everybody want to know what's going on? I do. This is the perfect place to find out what's going on. Pixie, please don't do that, babe. Hey, okay. Sorry, that was my close up for the year, I hope. Yeah, as you can see, I have to jump to get into the chairs. And I got her, so she's probably going to stop now. But I have a bag down here. That's why I keep looking down. There's I'm so lazy. My Mother's Day gifts. I had 2 roses in the glass dome that's sparkling with the batteries in it and the white. Oh, they're gorgeous. And I have a gold one from last year that he gave me. They're just beautiful. And so I'm trying to figure out. I had them on the bar and they weren't safe. Had them on the mirror of the bar. They weren't safe. I've had to take everything off the bars. So my sound equipment is here. My recording equipment is here. And I record through a webcam, as everybody can tell. Mm. And I used to, at first, I was trying to do it with 2. When I first started, I had started on my laptop. It blew. We don't know why. It just came up with death screen. So I was trying to reboot it, and it was like 3 hours, and it was still rebooting. And one of my friends was over here, and he was like, "You realize that's the death screen? It's not going to hurt anything." I was like, "Fuck," because that laptop I'd been using it for like 4 or 5 years, so there's a lot of pictures and stuff on it. I didn't realize at the time that I had been smart. I'd linked them all. And it turns out now that all my pictures are on the other Chromebooks, not the laptop because you can't access it. It turns on. So I haven't really got rid of it. Pixie, Oh my word, this cat. She has to have airtime. She thinks she's supposed to be up here with me. She's a big cat. Like I said, she's long and thin. So and all of them have to have baths because of the flea problem outside. And I have all those cats out there that I feed and try to help. Um, at some point, I'll even put the pills in their food to get the fleas off of them. Give them some break anyway. They get a break in the winter, but the summer it's really vicious on those that are outside. And I go outside, and if the grass is long, and if you wear white, I have several white pairs of pants, and if you go outside in white, you can see the fleas just jump on the white. I don't know what it is about the white, but I'll do that every month or two just to see if there's a problem out there. Because usually you can't get too close to the other. You can't reach out and touch one of them. They're gone. Because if we could catch them, we try to get them a home or try to get them out of the backyard. Because one of the neighbors kept saying they're gonna have babies, and she was right. They had babies. It was 2 years before they did it. They had babies, and they're so adorable. They're about medium long hair, so they're just little puff balls. Calico. There's a gray and white one. Looks like a Persian. Just beautiful little kittens, and kittens are always beautiful anyway. And so I was trying to get them all on film and posted on Facebook. I've done that several times. See if I can get somebody to help them. And apparently, it's just not that many good Samaritans out there. If anybody lives in Augusta, please, if you do see them, if you want to see pictures of these kittens, please let me know. They're free. If anybody wants them, we'll find a way to catch them with the catch and release cage or something to that effect. I see a baby. She's very hands-on cat. She is a lover. She likes to be in your lap. She wants to be the center of attention. She's my cat because I like that. I don't know how the hell I get up here every other day, or at least every other day. I try to. So lately, I went from day to day to 3 or 4 times a week. I'm still trying to recover. And so I don't look now on the TV because I actually did that one time and left the room before it popped up. Came back in. I was like, Jesus Lord, I get that. Oh, we have like a 70 inches, so it's like the whole room was my face. Oh my God. So keep it on the small screen, guys, in the dark. Yeah, those things help. I still need you guys to like, share, subscribe is free. You can undo it in 2 seconds, but it's free. It just does a tick of the little bell, and then it'll give you a tickle alert, and you'll know that I dropped one. I'm not like everybody else. There are a few that are like me. They get up and just talk about it. I haven't started dropping them. Apparently, for me anyway, I do. That was high pitch. For me, I go with, you know, what I'm talking about and try not to drop them because I've actually picked that up already from YouTube myself. So for me, it's almost redundant to put them in. So I try to just be entertaining on my own until I hear from you guys and make sure that I send whatever it is you want to see or hear out. See, there I am fidgeting again. I just do that. Um, there were some other things I was thinking about anyway. I don't know if I've got time to say them. I'm going to try to cut the time down. And I need my stiffener this morning. Ta. Oh, that's so nice. Irish coffee is so good. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I'm trying not to do this all day. Don't want to bore you guys more than 25, 30 minutes now, it seems. Those that do watch don't seem to make it to the end. Can't blame them. So, I don't know what y'all want to talk about. It's social Woodstock. So, I'm up there doing social, basically. I don't think anybody's had the spine to ask me why I'm doing it. They don't want to hurt my feelings, which they probably would if they said something. So, y'all be kind. No hate. Do what you want. Put it in there. Give me some hints. I don't care. Yeah, do a little bit. So, and I'm fidgeting again. I can tell I'm fidgeting again with my hair and so forth. I throw this up there. I had one person say, "Why are you wearing a tiara?" I was like, "It's a headband. It's just, yeah." It's cleaned down, but I like it because it kind of pulls out the jewelry and doesn't hopefully show how old I really am. Yeah, it's one of those like, yeah, it didn't work. Then I get crazy up here. I start talking about, in particular, what's been going on at the colleges and universities, lump them together. I love the ones that say they're community members. They don't go to school. They're community members. Then when they get out of the hotel, because somebody else paid for it, that will be over because they're not, students. There's not enough students in these colleges to make that damn big a crowd. Not even a third are students. I mean, you can spot a student. It's not hard. The student has a backpack full of books and they've got something to read or something in their hands. The community members don't. They have these headscarves and chanting and signs and some water. Yeah, they were inside of one school tearing up the library while somebody was on the, and I love this, the reporters are only talking to those who are protesting. They're not talking to those who say, what the hell are you doing? Get out of my college campus. No, there's not. No, no, are you okay? Have you been all right? Did they do anything to you? What did you want to say? I really would like to bitch slap some of these screwballs. If you're going to give somebody a platform, why the hell are you giving a platform to those who are anti Semitic, who are racist to the max? Why the hell are you giving them a hate platform? All of y'all should be ashamed. Don't put that damn camera in their faces. Don't give them any airtime while they're doing it, you idiots. Y'all know that too. Y'all are told what you're supposed to film. You're not actually reporters. You're not the news. You're not reporters. You're freaking idiots who shouldn't have a job at all, ever. Not in that field at least. I even hung in there up until 3 or 4 years ago, just Fox, thinking, no, no, they used to be fair and balanced. They used to be fair and balanced. They may be their moniker still. They're nowhere near fair, and they haven't been balanced in a decade. I don't know what happened when the 21st century hit, but there was no news. I don't know who. Well, Soros, I know, bought many of them. I think they bought Fox, but that's when things changed. A bunch of people got axed. A couple of them sued, didn't do any good, or if it did, didn't make the news. What they call the news now is all political. I don't care what channel you look at, it's political, and they're up there pushing Joe Biden. Now they're sitting out there saying they raised $4 million to run for president. I'm like, President Lincoln, when he was elected, had to borrow money to get the train to go from Illinois to DC. He had to borrow the money. His suitcase was tied together with string, rope. Yeah. And when they got to the White House, the previous president had cleaned it out. It was just got there wasn't they had to furnish it and had to straighten it out. It was a disaster. Couldn't even bring people in from other countries for like a year or so. And his wife, Miss Lincoln, they lost Todd while they were in office. They had Robert still. And it turned out there's something strange about that one too, that Robert Lincoln was saved by Todd. I can't remember his name, but he was General Lee's son. Later on, Robert Lincoln was saved by General Lee's son, and I can't think of his name offhand, but it's a cute little thing to look up to find out. Hey, he did. They kind of the sons intertwined as well, and General Lee was still respected. These people that fought the Civil War, they had been friends. They had been classmates at West Point. They had been involved in politics. So these people all knew each other. And when they say that brother fought against brother, they were not kidding. Uh, and if you look into the Civil War, it was horrific. And thank God after the battle at was it Gettysburg, might have been Gettysburg, but there was one battle where it raged for 3 days and 58,000 died. And I think that's when Lee said that's enough and surrendered at Appomattox. I can't really say that one so well, but yeah, everybody knows that Lee surrendered. And he did that because most of the South was dead. What wasn't dead was destroyed. So even those that did live through the war, almost 5 years of this war, went home to nothing. The fields were full of bodies or buried bodies. General Lee's home, they had buried over 15,000 people there. So they couldn't live there anymore. And it was their home, it was their plantation. So Arlington, just in case y'all hadn't known, but Arlington still bears the same name of that plantation, and it was General Lee's home. And he didn't want to. Robert E. Lee, he did not want to go to war. He tried to get out of it, but at the same time, he was pretty much the head of Virginia, and they begged him to control the Southern Army to rid that. And it was always a terrible thing for him. He didn't live a long time after the Civil War ended, and his son Robert E. Lee, another one, I believe is Junior, went back to try to buy Arlington back for the family. It had been a little while by then, and when he got there, and he knew there were deaths or bodies buried at the plantation. What he was going to do was section off and make it a cemetery, but section it off and still control the plantation because it was a lot of property and it had run well as a plantation. And now they could just hire people to work there. So that was great. And a lot of people just didn't leave because there was nowhere for them to go. Oh, you're free, you're free. Well, who's going to help feed and clothe you? Because that's what was going on at the time. And they weren't still saying they were slaves, but they had to live. And the South had been literally dismantled. It was horrific what they did. They didn't just burn Atlanta. They had a straight line into Augusta and kind of shimmied through us, but didn't destroy it. Same with Savannah, because they intended to burn Savannah and Augusta, and they didn't. So that was luck, kind of, sort of. But when he got there to buy Arlington back, and they were going to let him buy it back, that had all been situated before he got up there to pay for it. And it was years after the Civil War, but people still remember the Civil War back then. Up until the early 1900s, that if you were from the North, they just and they had reason to not like anybody from the North, the carpetbaggers and so forth. They really kind of don't touch on that stuff in school, and they ought to, because it kind of gives us a better idea when you move from the North to the South why they don't care for you, and you can be you can be seen and heard in a second. They go, "Oh, you're from the North," and there's a lot of us here. A lot went to Florida, so yeah. He says, I'm not going to change it. By then, I think there was like 28,000, but it was all service personnel. So people who died in the wars. And so he said, okay, he gave all of the land, including that plantation house, which you can still visit today. And then when you do, you'll know that it was their home. And it's gorgeous. I've been there. And it's heartbreaking at the same time. President Kennedy is buried there with the eternal flame. Again, it's heartbreaking at the same time to go through and see all those graves and see white crosses everywhere. I can't remember how many were buried there when I went, but it's, up into the hundreds of thousands, I believe. It's massive. And you get up to the house, and it was hard not to cry when you saw the house. It had been frozen in time for when they had left, when Robert E. left to go to the war. They had run the plantation the best they could up until, remind you, this is Virginia. So the North kind of ran right through Virginia real quick. So his wife had to skedaddle. But some reason they did not, other than to use it as headquarters and to start burying the war dead there. They didn't change a lot. They left the furniture and everything, paintings and so forth, because they used it as a headquarters. And that was a luck thing for Robert E. Lee. And it was a luck thing for America that it was saved. And so if you ever get a chance to go to Virginia or even D.C. to see the monuments and all that, you've got to include Arlington. You just can't miss that. It's just something. And you can just feel the sorrow. When you get to the plantation home itself, it's as if sorrow just envelops you. You want to weep. Same with Mount Vernon, George Washington's plantation. When you go in there, you're a tourist and you don't think too much about it. You think you know something until you find all the little things that tell you what was here or what they did and how, because even the outbuildings are still there for Mount Vernon. And I mean, it's again a place set back in time. So you walk through there, and again, you can just feel the waves of sorrow. Whoever was there last, or maybe before, they left these imprints on these homes. And it's another part of the paranormal that I enjoyed trying to find. You just feel it. You're just like, oh, and you have to get out in the air, drink some water or whatever, take a breather because it does envelop you. If you're a sensitive, and I think this, in my case, I must be a sensitive because there were places like in Europe, um, the uh, the concentration camp. You just from 50, 60 miles out, you're going to one of World War II's concentration camps. They didn't keep a lot. They tore a lot of it down. Of the few that are still left, most were dismantled. The few they left intact to shake the shit out of people in the future to go, look what the hell happened. Look how many people was killed by one country. And they were behind all of it. They owned Europe. If they hadn't have tried to get Russia at the same time, then Japan and Germany would have won the wars, I believe, for all of my research. We were way behind on technology as well. It was like biplanes for the other part for the Allies, but Hitler and them had jets and they had bombers. So they had to catch all that up. They were almost that close to atomic power, which is another reason Einstein left. People don't give him any credit. Um, but, they gave Oppenheimer all the credit, and it wasn't just him either. I'm just saying. There was a lot going on, like the decoding of that big coder. They couldn't break the German code for years. And then they finally could. There's a movie out about that, thank God. But people don't get it. I remember being on the bus going in to see the concentration camp, and the women in particular were just uncomfortable shifting, and I was one of them. It was like the smell and you could just feel it. It was like it was stuck to you. It was like it clenched you. So the women were doing this. All of us were like, it was terrible. But the men were seemingly unaffected. I got to say, only a one or two, if I remember correctly, out of like 45 people in my group. And I've never forgotten it. It's been a long time. Uh, but you can feel it. It's just death. There's you at one point, a lot of us women, and me included, were just openly crying. We weren't trying to cry. We were just crying. It was just, searching for because you couldn't stop. Uh, Gagging. Some of the women vomited. Um, it was horrific. You could smell this, but it was a long time ago, so it wasn't that far from the war. I think 20 years or 25 years, something like that. It wasn't a long time. And the stench what got us at first. A lot of the women felt that, and with the men going, "We'll catch up," and stuff like that. They didn't have the sensitivity the men did. Only a few. But the women kind of gathered themselves together because we wanted to see, we wanted to know, we wanted to testify. And that's what kills me about what I'm seeing with this anti-Semitism. What? I've heard that 2 generations now that didn't happen. My grandson will tell you in a heartbeat that happened. But his generation is mainly the ones that are really bad at saying this never happened. Now, I don't know how they could deny that. They could go to DC and see the Holocaust Museum and they know there are rooms full of baby shoes. There are rooms full of gold teeth. There are rooms full of glasses. These are small items. And these are uh, floor to ceiling windows, and it's stacked. And that right there is just horrifying. I'll tell you what, I was absolutely horrified. And I had already seen, and taken the tour on the concentration camp. And yet, when they put together the museum, I was working in DC. And at the time, I was shocked to see what I did. Even though I thought I could testify. I left the museum. I just had to. I was just weeping. I couldn't breathe. And I wasn't trying to cry or weep. It was like weeping, sobbing. It was just body racking. And you're running out finally. You just got to get away. It's your whole body is just taken over, it seems. And it wasn't just one, it wasn't just 20. It was, according to the people that worked there and so forth, this was an everyday thing. On tours of 10 or 15 people, they'd have 6, 7 people that would react that way. So, and this was when it first opened. I think it's much better now. It's not, reaching out so bad. It's just like the Titanic. They had all those articles, and some people would go through there and they're just grabbed by it and they have to get out. And that seemed to have also calmed down over the years that it was open. But I don't see how anyone could say it didn't happen. And these kids need to be slapped stupid and shut the ass up to DC and send them over to Europe to check this out. And people also think that the concentration camps are in Germany. There's not one of the concentration camps in Germany, not one. They didn't want their people to see that. Of course, after the Allies won, they started bringing them through because there were piles of bodies everywhere. They took people out of those things and tried to kill them, most of them off anyway, so that when they got there, they would be dead. And there was a lot of death. And that still lingers. I don't care what anybody says. I bet you I could go up there today and I would still almost feel that bad. So again, take these idiots by the freaking face, slap them 2 or 3 times, and throw them on a plane to get to one of those places to go check it. Um, and give them and make sure that they get the whole tour, they get the pamphlets, they get everything. They cannot ignore that. They just can't. It's You're standing in a concentration camp. You can't ignore the fact that it's freaking there. So that was one of my topics for the day because I had seen it and I brought it back. There are many historical sites that if you get a chance or an opportunity, if you travel every year, if you have a vacation every year, these things should be seen. History seems to be getting put away now that we're in the 21st century. The 20th century is now kind of joining the 19th century. It's on the back shelf. And I spent a lot of time in the 20th century. Just right after that, that's why they call us the baby boomers, because it was the World War IIers. It was my age group. My husband's 4 years older, so he's definitely a baby boomer, but we're both hippies. So come join me, talk about this stuff. Let's keep this kind of alive in the front. I don't think they're reporting the atrocities that have been happening since since Vietnam. I don't see much. When we first went in the 90s to Iraq, they had a meeting every morning at 6 a.m. CENTCOM. And I was there every morning, coffee ready, red alert, wanting to know what was going on. They didn't do that for long. A couple of weeks, and that was it. Same thing when it happened again in 2001 or 2. For 20 years, because we got to get those terrorists, going to wipe out ISIS. Now, I don't know why they decided to take on ISIS. These planes that hit the buildings and the towers, and I watched it live. I did. I called my husband. He had already pulled his big rig over because they were telling him, get to your TVs, because they all carry a TV in their trucks, basically. So everybody was glued to their TVs when the second one hit. Because I called my husband before the second one hit. Said this isn't an accident. At the time, they weren't saying terrorist or anything. They were saying, how did they have this accident? And they were actually taking people and putting them back in the first tower. It fell. All those people died. And still, when the second one got hit, they were still going, how is this happening? What? They didn't go terrorist. They didn't think of terrorists. Worst terrorist attack we'd had was 96, I think, on the towers, and they blew up the U-Haul. Well, they got away with it, but they went back to get the deposit. I kid you not, you can't make that shit up. They went back to get the deposit. So there had been a terror attack before on the towers, which is, again, I guess, why they took the planes. But in any event, they were not Iraqi. They were not Afghanistani. They were Saudi. Almost to a man. There was one that was, I can't remember what country he was from. It wasn't Iraq or Afghanistan, though. So I don't know what made the Americans go in there, although that's what they said. And everybody just took it as 9/11. They were going after. No. They're still dealing with Saudi Arabia government, the king. It's good to be the king. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Good to be the king of here. They call him president. Same damn thing. You get an 82-year-old freaking dude. I wouldn't let an 82-year-old drive. I'm 65 almost, and I don't drive at night. I haven't driven at night for at least almost a decade. once I noticed that I was having trouble with it, I quit doing it because you're in a missile headed for somebody to kill. And I wasn't going out that way. No, I wasn't going to hurt nobody, let alone myself. So no, I quit. My husband was still driving rigs till last year in the dark, all across in the snow. I mean, and he's going to be 68. So, no, 69, I think, because he's 4 years older. So we knew when it had to stop, and I had been asking him for some time to get out of the rig. He'd been retired since he got cancer, beat it, but he still was retired basically. And at the same time, we're noticing now that that extra check doesn't come in from him every week because we pay everything on our retirement. And once we pay everything on our retirement, we're like broke for 2 weeks. Like can't oh my god, because I can't seem to budget it all out. Hey, I know picks the checks, the retirement checks don't go up now picks, but it's gotten stupid. A pound of ground beef is $12. Aluminum foil is $15 for the little one. What the hell? Who the hell's buying this stuff for that price? I want to know. There we go. I don't know if that's on your side, but I've got clapping. I thought that was a pretty good line. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on other than I was always 90 pounds soaking wet till about 5 years ago. And now I look like the real mother, the birth mother, which is scaring me stupid. Yeah. I don't have the same. I have father's features and coloring, the green eyes, red hair thing. And I did the DNA thing. My son bought it for me for Christmas the year before last, I think it was. And he just had to know. So I went ahead and did it. He'd already done it. And he was exactly who I said his ancestry was, which shocked him because he'd been told, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Turned out it did. I love people like that. So he wanted to know what mom was because the maternal DNA really is your basic combo. You get a little of the dad in there. And they can pull that nowadays. And in the event I took it, found out I was British and Scottish, which I could have said from the red hair and green eyes, can't tan. So they were trying to tell me I was a Native American. I was like, no. Oh yeah, there was a Scottish one. There was a Scottish chief. Yeah, no. I used to laugh at that a lot. But I wore native clothes, and I probably still do. I mean, I have moccasins and all that. I still love them. In fact, once I get off here, I'm going to throw some moccasins on while I clean. Yeah, I mean, I love that style too. And I go from 50s to, you just never know. I might be in a Scottish turban. You don't know. I think I did one episode on here with Scottish clothes on. It was still winter. But yeah, so I mean, I love different looks. I love Halloween. I don't know about the rest of you. So we didn't do a lot of this one did that, this one did this. Basically, I just didn't care to do it today. So I was the whole article of of the stream today. Maybe more people will jump on here and go, what? Even we hippies ought to be going, what the hell is she doing? And still, I can hear myself think. It's so loud, and I just didn't bother to twiddle with it. I've got it up here today, so I can hear by what's going on. I have music on in the background because otherwise I'm going to get interested in something paranormal. Let's see what ghosts they caught. I love the new equipment. Everybody that's out there, you should go to haunted places. Holy crap on a cracker. I've been to a few. My daughter-in-law took me to Savannah. I'd never been. And she is also a paranormal researcher, so to speak. It's a good line, I think. That's kind of suits me. I've been doing it since I was 9. Long story back there. I seen some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's still black and white TV. What the hell is this? And those recorders that were reel to reel. That's what I started on. And the only people that were out there ghost hunting would be Ed and Lorraine Warren, and I just adored them. I still do. Those guys were such pioneers, and they led the rest of us down that same path. And it's wonderful what we got now. The one guy caught on his Connect for his gaming actually caught a shadow critter, and he posted that, and it went wild. And it shows a stick figure. But when it first happened to him, it was a dark black shadow. We all call it the shadow people. My son saw one in a home I had that was inherited on my husband's side from his mother. And his father also lived there, of course, and they all passed away. And we would hear his father coming down the hall telling him to get his ass up. His father was a Korean War vet. I mean, literally Korean War. He had gone to war. And he was an amazing guy. I loved him. He had this big shock of white hair. Never, I mean, he had a full head of hair. He never went bald. I see my son's generation has. He blamed me at first. He was like, what? Why is it my fault? I have hair. There, my cat's going, you've been on too long. And she just has to do this every time I get on the air. She's gotten used to it. So one of these days, I'm just going to lock her in the bathroom so I don't have to do this while I'm because different movements, apparently, because of the camera, your hand gets really big when it goes that way. And as you can see, I didn't do my manicure because I had too much to clean and bathe. And yeah. So come see me shoot. Anybody that can get up here and shoot the shit for this long, you ought to go at least say like, get on. Please. Come tell me something. I see I'm almost at an hour, and I try to cut myself off before then, but I get so far into whatever it is I'm talking about, and I really would like to hear from everybody. You don't have to stay there. Subscription would be kind. It would help the channel. It's been 6 months nearly. I figure I'm going to become an online sensation at some point in my life. Don't know when that is. I'm going though. I'm going to meet you there. Yeah, we're all going. We're going somewhere. Where the hell it is. I made my husband promise that he would be home. My new watch Robert bought me. A little big, but it's cute. It's one of those digitals with big letters. He thought I could see that, and I used it for a light at night. I could put a nightlight in there. I got several. I just haven't done it. It bugs me. I've actually got them at the plug. No. I don't like that lights. I think that also gives a criminal an extra chance at you. Basically, if you have a light that's illuminating you, it's illuminating a target for whoever's breaking into your home. They know wherever that light is, there's a person around there somewhere if they're not right on the light. So I prefer to go around in complete darkness because I know where everything's at. So if you break into my house, you're going to trip over some shit. I'm telling you. And I'm going to know right where you are. And I stay armed. So I don't know how well you dance, but it won't help you. And I don't aim for the chest. I don't aim for a leg. It's a headshot, square and personal. You in my house is personal. I'm going to try to take you out on the first shot. I probably just empty it, but I'm going to try to get you on the first shot. I'm not going to warn you. I'm not going to say, I'm over here with a gun. No. I'm not going to be a light. This is, I'm over here. You can stab me. No, I've watched too many of these movies, and I don't watch horror flicks. I just seen the commercial at the room. Oh, I prefer to see somebody that can protect themselves and protect their families. I try and tell everybody too, be a card carrying member and carry a weapon with you at all times. I've seen at least 3 incidents that I can recall where they were under fire and a person who had a weapon either ran out to their car to get it or had it, whatever, and killed the guy. It was a guy all 3 times I can remember anyway. But had they not, lots more would have died. One of them was at a church. The guy ran out and got his car from out of the car. The gun was in the car in the glove box, but he had the concealed carry permit, but he still had time to go out, got away, and got the weapon and came in and took the guy out. The guy was in Kevlar and everything else. He didn't intend to go down quiet. These people do this stuff, and they're armed for bear. I've seen extra handguns, extra ammo, 2 long rifles, and a shotgun sometimes. And 2 of the events that I saw had major weaponage as backup. They didn't use it. Had major ammo. One guy even had a grenade. I don't know how you get a grenade these days. I don't. But yeah, I've seen some really bad things come down the line. And in those cases, they were taken out by somebody who'd been able to carry a defense weapon. And I say every time I see that I have to renew mine, of course, but that the life you save may not just be your own. You might save 30 people from dying because you had a weapon and that person didn't expect anybody to be armed. And so you were able to disable them. The three cases I'm talking about, they killed them. They probably would have had to. From what I remember of the weapons and so forth they had as backup, they did not again to. They didn't think they was going to go down quiet. They thought they was going to be able to take out 50, 60 people at least. If I'd have been armed like that, I'd have taken out everybody. Everybody. Um, for one thing, you have to assume somebody's got a weapon. So you got to do that from cover. But if I'm in as a trained personnel, I think in cases where there's only 4 or 5 um, that have been killed, maybe 10, 15 a shot, that's a really good number. If there was 100, 150 of them, and they had 500 things they could shoot you with, including in one case a grenade, and yet they didn't. Um, there's definitely got it work. I mean, I remember one case where they put a bomb in a schoolroom. The kids were like 6, 7 years old, for God's sake. And they had the teachers, I think, tied together to it. And somehow they had them move. And they accidentally, when they were fiddling with it, it was a wife and husband team. When they were fiddling with it, it blew. And it took out like half the school, but not the area where the kids and the teachers were at. You could see like what looked like angels and stood against the 3 walls that stood around these kids and those teachers. There's 2. And to this day, I still get goosebumps when I think about that one because they should have died. To a kid, they should have died. There was a freaking hole where they had accidentally set this powerful thing off. There was like, there was nothing. They were obliterated. They were standing right on it. Um, but the kids and the teachers were not hurt. And even the kids said they were scared stupid. And there were angels that were flitting in and out amongst them, saying, "Be calm." That's probably my husband. Yeah. Well, let's see. Hi, honey. I'm on live. What's up?
Nothing. I finally found my phone. I just found it for an hour. I was praying. Wanted to call me.
Oh, sorry. I'm on live.
All right, well, get off the phone then. I'll talk to you after a while.
Okay, bye. We both had trouble with our phones. Yesterday, I was calling him and he was calling me, and it just showed call ended just instantly. It was like 2 seconds. And I kept doing it. He kept doing it, and it couldn't get through. So when he got home, he was pissed off. I was pissed off. Yeah, he had remembered everything I asked him to do and then some. So I had to kind of eat those words because he had been trying to catch me to find out that he had the right thing. Like I needed some shampoo and stuff, and I'm a little picky. And he knew that too. So we've been married a long time. So yeah, he was like, and this morning he didn't check his again. I checked mine while we were talking, and we found that you better restart. And I did a restart, and then it rang the phone. So this time he couldn't find his phone, as you heard, and it was hoping I'd called him. And I try not to. He gets fussy. All of us do if you're trying to do something. So he's calling you every 10 minutes, you get pissed off. Mm. Well, it's hard to wrap up when I can't figure out which way I was going. Come and see me, guys. I need the help on the channel. I really can't wait to talk to the rest of the hippies. We got to have enough people up here. I need to get some things going on with the channel. I don't know what to do with what. I just kind of get up here and ramble. So you guys could push me in the right direction if you wanted to. Todd? I love my Irish coffee. Robert's very good about making sure I have some Irish cream. I don't have Irish coffee every day. Well, most of the time. And I probably ought to just wrap this up on here in whiskey glasses behind me. That's my husband's alert to say, oh, I'm almost finished. I'm probably going to head home in an hour. Yeah, I like it when he works out of the house. But there's so much to do here. So I had a bit of a fit yesterday. And I needed some help. I mean, you live here too. Let's get a handle on this stuff because it's getting out of control. Half the time, even if I'm up and ambulatory, as I like to think of, by noon, 1 o'clock, I'm again on a heating pad, and I found that the best way to do that is up on my bed. I can recline and get the back to stop spazzing, so that's always fun. So again, I would love to have somebody tell me we've got the hippies out here. My flowers are still so beautiful today, aren't they? They just open up so well. And they smell beautiful. They're just heavenly. He bought them for me yesterday while he was out. He's very good about that. I'll have flowers at least for a week after I go down. And so I try not to get, I don't know, morbid. I try to keep that upbeat look no matter what. I might use the cane occasionally. I try not to because I don't want to get dependent on it. It's like I don't get in the cripple cart when I'm at still. And my husband's always saying, but you make me go to the big one. I was like, yeah, I ain't walk around the shit. Just your fork up. Poor guy. He was fussing at me about these things this morning. I don't buy these because otherwise I'd be in trouble. So I make sure that I made it. I made a promise. I made a vow. I would never buy them. So he has to buy them for me. And they last me, 5 of them will last me a week, 2 weeks, something like that. And that's just the 5 of them because they go out. And I try not to smoke them. I will smoke them while I'm up here with y'all. Because again, they'll pick some up. You got to stay. There's a cat off camera. Is that a bar off camera? There are days when I wonder how in the hell I get up here. And at the same time, I tell y'all, I say it every time I'm up here, it's social Woodstock. We've got to use this medium. It's free. And it's not going to be for long, I don't think. I like the Y files with AJ and Hecklefish, if you could find it. Just put WF in to search for WF or put Y files, might be easier. It's a big red dot with a white F in white. And I've loved them. They're really good and they get whatever topic they're going to talk about, they've researched, they're talking about, just like I do. They don't drop any videos. They talk about whatever video did this and whatever did that, and whatever they're checking out, and all the stats on that. So I like them. And I get a lot of information I didn't have before. And everybody knows I love the paranormal, I love history. Usually that's kind of hand in hand. If you're going to go ghost hunting, you don't want to see who died yesterday. I'm hoping they're still there anyway. Mm. But there are places like Gettysburg where they're still there. I was watching one video where they come up into the car park, which was right there across from where the cannon were set. And these were still in the same place that whenever they attacked them, that's where they kept it, and it's still there. Of course, a lot of the surrounding areas have changed, thank God, but that area is still the same as it was when they were attacked. And so they're sitting there, and the one guy decides to start filming. He didn't even know why. He said, so I don't know why I'm filming. And suddenly you can see people walking by. You could see they were also Southern from the uniforms. They weren't solid, and they were like a mist, but it showed you that it was amazing footage if you get a chance to look for it. The guy comes up around, it's like he was inspecting the cannons, just like he did probably at real time. And so I wonder how that happens. I've never been able to figure that out. Hey. Jeez, it's hard to have this many cats and trying to be good. Pick some up. No, Pixie. This is when I have to get off because she won't listen. Get down. Yeah, she's definitely in my face today. Pixie. Oh, hey, get down. This doesn't really work with her. She comes and turns around and just glares at you like, oh, you did not. I love cats. They have such personalities. Well, anyway, if you get a chance, look up that stuff too. What I want to see is people come up here and say, like, don't like, share, hit the subscribe. Come on, fellas, let me know you're out there. There's a reason for this, and we need to use it while we can. I keep insisting on the fact that this may not be free for much longer. Already, YouTube now has premium, so you have to pay for premium. And they're starting to cut back there on the regular YouTube. There's so many commercials that you can't get out of now. So you can't just leave it and go because it'll talk to security forever. It stays on that commercial. I mean, for like an hour and a half, and you finally turn it. You're like, oh God, I've been listening to that for. I'm terrible about putting that stuff on and kind of glancing as I do whatever. So now I'm kind of into the music stations and throw those on. But even those, they're starting to say, you can get this and this if you do that. So I don't think we're going to have this free for much longer. So if we want to utilize it, this is Pixie. Hey, Pixie. She's very insistent. So maybe she'll be my new partner. I get tired of squirting her because it doesn't work. If I yell at her, I can't hear for 2 hours because of the feedback from the mic. My husband knew I wanted the golden mic. I wanted the golden mic. I had seen it on several broadcasts, and I said, "Oh, I'd love to have that." So both the systems that I have, my son bought me one, and my husband did too. And he made sure he got me the golden one. It was so cool. So I can interview people, but we had so much is going on in everybody's life that they don't really have a lot of time to sit down, come to your house, whatever, or your studio in some cases, and be interviewed. I think that most of them are actually paid to go onto the show, like Joe Rogan. Shout out to Joe. He's great. Loved him as a comedian. Not sure about the bald thing, but it works for him. My son did the same thing, while blaming me. I still have my hair. He's only 20 years younger, so it's not my fault. I hate to even give his father credit for anything, but I'm going to give him credit for it. But yeah, my time is up. I ended up on the air for another hour. I apologize. Do get in here and try to tell me something. Show me what you want to hear. Talk to me. Let's get this channel off the ground. And I mean, I really need the algorithms, as they say, when you're going back and you go, how many people watched? So come see me. I've been insistent. I've been rude. I've been on all the time for an hour. And yeah, I'm a talker. Y'all know that if you've seen it, if you follow. Um, Again, I need more people. Guys, without you, I couldn't do this. So every day that I'm up here, I'm trying to pretend that I'm doing something great, that it's worth doing. So bear with me. Come tell me hi. Come say, just get off the air, you're too old. I don't care. Come tell me something. But in the meantime, I have to go. So, time for another day, guys. Toodles.